Ooh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 21 of the That Film Blog UK podcast.
Ooh,
Now,
21.
you might be listening to this and thinking, hold on, what happened to the eagle-eared listeners who stuck around to the end of last
Yep.
episode?
They
Of
know who
which
they
I'm
are.
sure there are innumerable.
Yeah.
We said we were going to do some pre-Oscars
Shenanigans. Predictions. Also shenanigans.
Yes, both. Now, that didn't happen. There were internal discussions. We realised it makes more sense to just, kick back, enjoy them, enjoy the films like Rustin, Naiad, Maestro, enjoy what the Oscars have
I haven't
to
seen
offer.
any of, which I've failed in that regard.
I'd say, in a way, you actually won, in a way.
Right.
And we're just going to go through. We've got a lovely live blog, courtesy of The Guardian, for which I pay a not insignificant amount monthly to access, which is...
Oh, that's good. I don't go on the app anymore now that you charge.
Yeah,
They charge.
They added the paywall, and then I was sort of held to ransom, in a way.
You
gonna
nearly
go
read the
through
Daily Mail.
Yes, do not check my search history. Quality
So I'm just
show.
going to start munching on some Pringles over it. Hopefully it's not too loud for everyone.
No, I haven't heard it. What flavour?
Very boring original.
Oh,
I'm
that's
going to move
not
the
your
mic away
usual.
slightly while I munch. You can, do your presenter, jargon.
Spiel. So, I should probably say, I'm Luke, that's Ollie, as always. If anyone's here for the first time, I kind of forgot to do the intro. Just because, the chit-chat was popping off from Inception, which we'll get to Inception. Inception adjacent topics will be broached, but not yet. So, as I say, we have a nice little live blog. Just pretend you didn't see the Oscars. Just pretend they didn't happen yet, and we are sort of guiding you through. And I haven't actually mentioned this, but I came up with a fun little rating system.
Oh,
where we'll get to an order. We can either say right, as in correct decision, or robbed, as in
I like that.
There has been a degree of injustice, not misjustice. That's not a word.
No, I like that a lot.
We'll try and remember that.
John Mulaney robbed. He should have hosted.
Yeah,
an infinitely funnier man than
Jimmy
Boring Kimmel. It's not even that he's like that. I don't really like him, but it's not like I hate him. He's just not interesting at all.
He's bread and water.
I don't really like films.
He's just kind of there. I'd rather have Jason Mantzoukas.
Jason Mantzoukas. That's an out there shout, but I rate it.
I think he'd be unironically quite good.
I've always thought, seeing as you brought Jason Mantzoukas up, I've always thought Jason Mantzoukas, Oscar Isaac, and Jake Johnson, who plays Nick in New Girl. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, we're Googling him now. Yeah, I see.
Those three should they play brothers, because I think they all look quite alike.
They do. Especially Jake Johnson and Oscar Isaac. That's like creepy.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone's ever written about that. Probably not. Oh no, it's the first thing that comes up when you type Jake Johnson O.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
I think about my munching.
Oh no, it's
I don't think anyone's put those two together with Jason Mantzoukas.
No, that's like a rogue third entry that it could really, if they make a sequel to Twins called Triplets, it could be those three.
Yeah.
It's simple, but
and I would be on release date.
I wouldn't be paying money for it because I'm an unlimited member, but regardless, I would be there no matter what. So the first award of the night came at 23:27 GMT, so not unreasonable for an Oscars.
I didn't realise it started so early.
Yeah, I think it was done by like 2:30.
I had been at the pub though, so I passed out in bed at like 10:30.
This is actually a funny story. So not not this Oscars, but 2 Oscars before, so the year Coda won. I
Right.
was like, it was the first year I had nothing on the Monday, so I was like, all right, this is the first year I'm going to sit and actually watch it. So I got a load of like energy drinks in, got some snacks in. And
Ooh.
it was 10 o'clock, and I was a little bit tired, so I thought that's no problem. I'll have a 3-hour nap, and I'll be fit and fresh. I woke up at 5 a.m. confused, dazed, disoriented, having missed the entire thing.
A coda, you could say, to your Oscars night.
You could also probably say I didn't really miss much. But
that was a really dire year.
Yeah, this was the best
I think
year
like
in
most of the films nominated for Best Picture this year are better than films. Apart from June was in that year, but June was never going to win, obviously.
I think this is the best year since 2015 when Birdman won.
It definitely is the best year I can remember.
2019 was a good year.
What was that year?
Irishman.
Irishman, yeah.
Marriage Story. That was quite a good year. But this is the only year I can think of where it like every single.
I remember one of the first years I was like really into films, like first year I like paid attention to the Oscars and stuff. I think it was about 10 years ago. Yeah, that was a very good year as well. The year of 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
American Hustle mid. Captain Phillips I really liked. Dallas Buyers Club kind of mid actually. Gravity was very good. Her is amazing and probably the best on the list in my opinion. 12 Years a Slave is worthy winner, of course. Nebraska I loved. Philomena, really lovely film. And The Wolf of Wall Street. A cultural, probably the one with the most cultural attachment. Impact. Yeah. Oh, great, yeah, but I don't think that is as good a year as this year.
No, I think this year is the most, at least that I can think of, where every single Best Picture film, or at least 8 or 9 of them, are like worthy. If they won, I wouldn't have been annoyed.
Yeah.
Whereas recent years, like last year, Everything Everywhere All at Once is a good film, but is it a Best Picture winner? Really?
I remember being, happy with it winning. What was the other film I really loved?
What else was there? All Quiet on the Western Front. Banshees of Inisherin. I kind of wish that had won. Looking back on
Banshees of Inisherin. I knew there was one that I thought should have won.
It was quite a weak year,
Banshees.
actually, compared to this. Top Gun Maverick was nominated. Elvis was nominated. Avatar: The Way of Water was nominated.
Elvis was rubbish. Sorry, Bowes. Sorry, Austin.
Sorry, Fade Ralph.
But sorry, Best Supporting Actress. I feel like.
Yeah, Best Supporting Actress. It was kind of a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Everyone knew it was going to be Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
Yeah.
And I think we were all pretty happy. I was certainly happy.
I think when we were looking at announcing nominations in an earlier iteration of what the show was going to be, Best Supporting Actress, there weren't like too many really attention grabbing performances.
No.
And I think in other years, Davine Joy Randolph probably wouldn't have won, but I think she was definitely a worthy winner because she is brilliant in The Holdovers.
She is. I'm looking at the nominees. Emily Blunt Oppenheimer. Good performance.
They only had a few really good scenes.
Yeah, and it's all towards the back end. Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple. I wasn't crazy about that film.
I wasn't crazy about the film. She did kind of steal every scene she was in, so I got what she was there.
America Ferrera, Barbie.
Yeah, it was a good performance. Oscar nomination worthy, perhaps not, but like I said, there weren't too many attention-grabbing performances in that category.
The only other one was Jodie Foster in Nyad, which again was just...
Jodie Foster, I'm happy for her. Haven't seen Nyad.
It's not bad. It's all right. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it, but it's not objectively good.
So is that a right?
I think that has to be a right, because it is just... It's impossible to disagree. She's so good in that film. I actually disagree. I think in a stronger year, she probably still wins.
You really think?
I thought it was a very tender performance.
It is. She is brilliant.
And then 11 minutes after that, at 23:38, They
Yes.
announced War is Over winning Best Animated Short Film.
Now, you really disagreed with that because you've seen all the Best Animated Short Film nominees, haven't you?
This is correct. The extent to which that is correct. I've got a spreadsheet here of all the nominees, so I could tick them off as I go. This category is not on there.
Right. Oh, okay.
So,
well, Anya
sorry.
Taylor-Joy presented the award. Just all that sort of note.
I'm trying to.
Me.
Aaliyah, Atreides. Couldn't think of the name now. Apologies.
Have we skipped Best Supporting Actor? I feel like that's usually at the start as well.
Not on my little list.
Okay, I see.
It's either that or The Guardian's wrong. So we can't really comment on that. All I know is it was inspired by the music of John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and Sean Ono Lennon was one of the people who collected the award, which is nice.
Lovely.
Good for him. Then, 2 minutes later on this live blog, Best Animated Film. This was a controversial one. The nominees were all pretty good this year. I didn't see them all. It wasn't like, usually it's just like whatever Disney's put out that year, and then like maybe one of the Illumination films. This year it went to The Boy and the Heron, but there was a lot of unhappiness that it didn't go to Spider-Verse. I think those were the only two that were really.
Where do you stand on that?
I preferred Spider-Verse to Boy and the Heron. I didn't care for Boy and the Heron.
I also probably heard Across the Spider-Verse, but I can't say I was particularly crazy about either of them. I thought Across the Spider-Verse was too long. Multiverse fatigue was what I was thinking when I came out of that film, and I just thought, to a certain extent, it relies far too much on just revealing another character from the multiverse, and it's like so I did think it suffered in that sense, but I think on the whole it was it's beautifully animated. It's funny and warm, and the characters are very likable and watchable. So I think that probably was the worthy winner.
I just think of it in terms of animated feature, which one does more with the medium, and just like, I don't know, boundary pushing. It's not The Boy and the Heron.
No, you are probably right.
So I get why it won, because a lot of people love Studio Ghibli, and it's supposedly Hayao Miyazaki's last film, even though he said that like 3 times. And it is sort of, from what I gauge anyway, a highlights reel of what Ghibli does best. So
yeah, it didn't hit as much for me as other ones, and it is beautiful, and I could kind of see what the point, the sort of subtext, but I thought it was kind of slightly lost within a less interesting tale than I think we've come to expect from Miyazaki.
Unfocused.
But I did, on the whole, enjoy Boy and the Heron, I should add.
I'll go to the grave disagreeing. And 9 minutes later, they reeled out the screenplays. Now, Best Original Screenplay went to Anatomy of a Fall, Justine Triet and Arthur Harari. It's pretty hard to disagree with that. I quite like, I'm just looking at the nominees. The Holdovers, Alexander Payne, there has been...
I think it's a really strong category. I haven't seen Maestro or May December, sadly.
May December was good. I'm surprised it only got nominated for 1. Am I surprised it didn't win over Anatomy of a Fall? No, because Anatomy of a Fall is, when you boil it down, a dense legal drama that's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
But it's made so entertaining.
Yeah, I think on the whole, Anatomy of a Fall is probably a worthy winner. Even though, personally, I just loved... I really loved Past Lives.
Yeah.
I think I rewatched it recently, actually, and I think the screenplay is really beautiful, and the characters are so well drawn, and I think the dialogue, it all feels so real, and I think that is just a personal. I have absolutely no qualms with Anatomy of a Fall winning, so I'm going to give it a right, because
yeah, I agree.
Past Lives, but I think personally, if it was up to me, I would have given it to Past Lives.
Yeah, I think I agree with every single sentiment. Then adapted screenplay was Paul Jefferson for American Fiction.
Robbed. I didn't really think American Fiction. Didn't think American Fiction was particularly good.
What do you think should have won?
What do I think should have won is a very good question. I think Oppenheimer should have won.
Yeah,
Or not even nominated, Killers of the Flower Moon. And that is, I think, I also have a big bias towards Killers of the Flower Moon. It's my favourite film of last year. I loved it.
Scorsese's mid though,
Scorsese is mid, but
lest we
this
forget.
wasn't. So I think, what do I think? Killers of the Flower Moon had a brilliant screenplay, and obviously Martin Scorsese doesn't really write too often. But I think he and Eric Roth did a really fantastic job of, making that story feel engaging throughout, and highlighting, the crux of the drama in that film is the relationship between Ernest and Molly, and I think the screenplay is what really brings that out. So I think Killers of the Flower Moon is probably what I would have gone for that.
I think I agree
That's
with
not the
you.
first time you'll hear that.
No, that is probably the biggest loser of the night. Well, entirely. I don't think did it win anything? I don't think it did.
It didn't win anything, no.
That's, I believe the word is ridiculous.
Interestingly, Billie Eilish has more Oscars than Martin Scorsese. If I say what I think.
They've banned me more than 6 months. They banned me for a whole Oscar season. I probably would say Zone of Interest out of those nominees. Barbie
Really?
is a weird one to be an adapted screenplay because it's not
No.
adapting in the same way the rest of them are.
I see both sides. It is obviously built completely from the ground up. Apart from the fact it is an established idea, and it does have that, obviously, the dolls, all that stuff to work, as a basis. So I think I do see why it's an adapted screenplay. A lot of people really didn't like that decision. I do, I see the reasoning, and I kind of agree with it.
And
It wasn't going to win either way.
No, it was never going to win. I think it was kind of just nominated for things to give off the impression that the Academy isn't really elitist and anti-mainstream blockbuster popcorn, which they've been doing a lot the past few years, ever since that Black Panther Best Picture nomination, which
was a farce.
Yeah, it should never have been there, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised it went to American Fiction. I'm glad it won something because I liked it. But equally, I'm sad that Zone of Interest didn't win more. So
I agree, but Zone of Interest is brilliant. I really loved it.
Then we had a bit of a double whammy on more of the technical categories. It was Best Makeup and Hair and then Best Production Design, both of which went to Poor Things. In both cases, I don't think there's much room to argue. I think Maestro probably would be upset. I thought Maestro that was for makeup and hairstyling. I think that was the whole thing was, oh my god, Bradley Cooper looks so much like Leonard Bernstein. But Poor Things just has such a distinctive visual design. You can't really fault it winning in those categories.
Yeah, you are right. You can't really argue against it. I remember being really impressed with Society of the Snows makeup, and it's kind of makeup and prosthetics and that. Because have you seen Society of the Snow?
No.
So obviously it's about people who are starving, and I think it's really good in that. But yeah, it's hard to argue against Poor Things winning in probably both categories. Production design. Excuse me, could have gone to Barbie or.
Really, it could have gone to any of those five, and I wouldn't have been.
Yeah. No, I mean Napoleon actually. Napoleon actually is a very good. I didn't even. Napoleon could have won, but yeah, Poor Things. Can't really argue with either of them. That film
out of
looks
all of those
amazing.
there, it's doing the most original work, which then the next category straight afterwards was costume design, which also went to Poor Things. So it kind of didn't let up there. Costume design wise, I, again, wouldn't really argue. Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer is sort of like they've designed period accurate costumes, but it isn't.
I mean, you say that Jacqueline West, who also did June Part 2, she did do some banging costumes. Molly was rocking some cool fits.
She was, but it
But
wasn't.
no, Poor Things, worthy winner.
Yeah, that was never not going to win. Then we had Best International Film, which I was.
Right.
Oh, we should say those three categories that just went. I think we both agreed right.
Yeah,
I don't
all
think it was much
both
robbery.
deserved, all three of them.
Then we went Best International Film, and it was the first time a British film ever won that category with Zone of
Which,
Interest.
makes sense because it was called Best Feature Not in the English Language until very recently. So you can see why
It's taken.
English films weren't in that category very much. But obviously, Zone of Interest isn't in the English language either, and absolutely the best choice for that film. Right, Zone of Interest was incredible. I think it's scary how timely that film is and worrying. And I think Jonathan Glazer made reference to it in his speech, which last time I speech not to be uploaded to the Academy's YouTube channel, which referenced what's going on in Israel, Gaza. I think Jonathan Glazer said he refutes Jewishness as being, or what does he say? He refutes his Jewishness and the Holocaust being hijacked in reference to what's going on in Gaza. And I think it's quite interesting that he had to almost spell it out in, in awards acceptance speeches what this film was also about. Yeah. Brilliant film. Worthy winner.
Worthy winner.
Society of the Snow, which I think was nominated.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Really good film as well. Came close for me. I actually haven't seen any of those. I would really like to see Perfect Days, but there's not been any cinemas near me.
I think it came out a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't any of mine. Yeah, it's one of those categories I only saw Zone of Interest, so I think years to come that'll kick up.
I do doubt that any of the other ones are better because Zone of Interest is a Hall of Famer, I think.
Then we went to Best Supporting Actor.
Now, what do you make of this? I'm interested.
Well, I have a few thoughts. I think I've made no secret on this podcast and generally that Robert De Niro is my favourite actor, so obviously I wanted him to win. But it's a strong category. Sterling K. Brown, I really liked in American Fiction. It wasn't a groundbreaking performance. It was just like
he's good in it, but I didn't think it was perhaps worthy of a nomination. No. But that might just be that it wasn't crazy.
Ryan Gosling in Barbie, again, I don't think it's an Oscar-worthy performance. It's just like classic, like dramatic actor does a wacky comedy role.
And he did it well.
He did it well, but I don't think it's an awards conversation.
Yeah, he was never going to win.
And Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things.
Again, it's a good performance.
But it felt like he was doing panto to me. I wasn't taken by it particularly.
Yeah, I think that's part of the style, but I understand that it probably didn't work for a lot of people. But I like Mark Ruffalo. I think one person who was robbed at least of a nomination was Dominic Sessa for The Holdovers. I think he's amazing in that film, and the fact he wasn't nominated is kind of baffling.
He should have been nominated over Ryan Gosling easily.
Easily. And I haven't seen May December, but I've heard a lot of people, were very taken with Charles Melton's performance.
Yeah, he's really good in that.
Do you think he should have been nominated over, say, Ruffalo?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether him or Sterling K. Brown that I get rid of. Probably Mark Ruffalo. I just didn't.
Yeah.
That was one of the parts of the film didn't work for me. So
Robert Downey Jr. I think was a worthy winner, but I think Robert De Niro's performance in Killer of the Flower Moon is, a level above anything he's done in a very long time. He's utterly. I came out of that film thinking that Robert De Niro's played effectively the devil in that film.
yeah,
He is all kinds of evil, and the performance is, so it's a performance of such subtlety. I
yeah,
think, and Robert De Niro should have won, but Robert Downey Jr. was very good in Oppenheimer.
yeah. It's hard to grumble because he is really good, and I'm happy for him.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll always in my heart think. I went to sleep that night thinking the one thing I hope is Robert De Niro wins it. So
Fortunately, that was never going to happen.
no, one day he'll get another one. Maybe. Maybe he'll be in Martin Scorsese's Jesus film. Maybe he could play Jesus. I would be there for that. I mean, I'll be
I
there for
would
it
be there.
anyway, as
I
mentioned
will.
above.
I will. I already plan to be there.
Yes. And then one of I think so. Oh, are we saying right or robbed?
I'm going to say robbed. I think it does slightly tip into the robbed category.
I'm
For
inclined
me.
to agree. I'm inclined to agree. I've got too many personal stakes to not to like lie down and let that run. It can't.
Yeah.
So then we went to probably the one where nobody's ever going to say robbed. Godzilla -1 winning for best visual effects.
Yeah, you really can't argue with it. You hear about the budget, although I have heard that the low budget is also to do with people getting underpaid and overworked. But by the by, it's easily a worthy winner.
Yeah, it's not.
I would say I was really, really impressed by the visual effects in The Creator, which on the whole I did really quite enjoy. It's the ending's weak and stuff, but
Yeah,
it looks amazing, and
it does look. It looks better
it
than
should have
anything else.
really been in best cinematography for Greg. It was Greg Fraser and someone else. I can't remember who the other person was, but I think that should have been in best cinematography personally.
Production design as well. Wouldn't have
Yeah.
grumbled if it had replaced one of the three. Period.
Screenplay, no.
Oh,
But on the whole, I did enjoy that film. I think we need more creative, films that look so good on, not
yeah,
so much. I think it was 75, 80 million,
mid-level.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's nice to have. It was something completely different to what we're used to.
exactly. And I think on principle, you have to back it. And I enjoyed it. I was never bored.
But
A bit of a weak ending.
you can't look past
No,
Godzilla -1.
no, you really can't. Brilliant film. I would have put it in Best Picture over a couple.
Really,
Yeah,
I
a really impressive film.
did really like it. To be fair,
The human stuff was like almost as good, if not better, than the Godzilla stuff, which is never the case in the
yeah, that
American
is
films.
completely true.
And I think
Most
that was,
epic
impressive feat.
And
Well done, Godzilla. Right.
yeah, as everyone would ever say, that's right. And
Yeah.
best editing,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
where
that
things start
is
to emerge. Oppenheimer wins.
right.
Completely right.
I was taken. It's the editing really that keeps such a dialogue heavy film never
Mm,
feel like it's dragging. I think Jennifer Lame's editing really elevates the film to
yeah,
what it is.
couldn't agree more.
So
Holdovers, I thought was well
absolutely
edited.
best winner.
Poor Things, I don't think was. I kind of felt it. There were many points it sort of stutters and doesn't really know where it's going. It
Mm,
could have. It's the only one of those nominees, Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, Killers, Oppenheimer, where I thought that could have been tightened up a bit.
yeah.
But you can't argue with Oppenheimer. To make a 3-hour courtroom/historical drama that engaging isn't normal. It isn't normal.
No.
So that's right.
Well done. Your editing
Yes.
skills are certainly not lame.
Thank you. And best documentary short, this was at 1:04 AM. I distinctly remember waking up and because I just couldn't sleep because I was just so excited to see what was gonna happen in this category. No shade, didn't see any of them. It went to The Last Repair Shop, which is
We're
about
gonna say, right, that was the right decision. Well done.
apparently, it was an Oppenheimer level lock-in for anyone au fait with the docu short category. So for that reason, it's hard to not say right. Congratulations. Then, best documentary. Now, this is one I actually want to watch, 20 Days in Mariupol.
Which has just come on, if you are listening,
Yep.
to All 4, or I think it's just called Channel 4 now.
Yeah, I
Channel
think it is.
4 online.
Yeah, I think it's there for a little while. I've added it to my list.
Yeah, I'll do the same. It's on my Letterboxd watch list, so I got a notification that it was on yesterday.
I don't actually know what the other nominees were, but you have to imagine it's kind of a lot
I
considering the
haven't
subject
seen
matter and
any
everything.
of them. Four Daughters, I think, is the one
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Mark Kermode was talking about
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
But no, can't comment. Right decision. Well done.
Yeah. Looking forward to watching it.
Absolutely.
And we had best cinematographer. Well, cinematography, actually. That's to
What do
tell
you
the truth.
think?
Hoyte van Hoytema for Oppenheimer. What do I
Yeah,
think? Where is the category on? Okay. Oh, I think it probably should. I don't know. It could have gone to Oppenheimer, Poor Things, or Killers of the Flower Moon, and I would have been happy with any of them.
yeah, that's
Personally.
exactly what I was thinking. You know, they're all really beautifully shot. There are some shots in Kids of the Flower Moon that are, you know, memorable to say the least.
Mm.
Um,
And then
Fuck
all
it.
I'd say,
Killers of the Flower Moon.
yeah,
You've been robbed. No, I'm joking. Oppenheimer, not robbed. Not
no, right, yeah.
right decision, I think.
Although one thing I would say, I don't think Poor Things is in. I think you could argue Killers of the Flower Moon should have been in there. Poor Things, obviously, it looks amazing. I'm not detracting that, but it is like classic Yorgos Lanthimos aesthetic.
Mm,
Whereas Oppenheimer wasn't really normal Christopher Nolan,
no,
and it works. Hence,
it did
hence
work.
the Oscar. Then live action short film went to The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Now, anyone that listened
No,
to last week's, or not last week, it was a while. Last podcast will know I don't care for Wes Anderson. So I'm going to say robbed, and I haven't seen any of them just because I don't like. And he didn't even arrive. He didn't show up to collect the Oscar and give a speech, which I just think you just
he
need
was
to nominate.
filming was about to start in Germany. I read.
Yeah, well, I think that's a poor excuse. Just do a little bit of pollution and hop on a plane. Just
No,
be
well
great.
done, Wes.
No. I'm anti. I'm pro private jet travel. And that's on the record. Then best sound. This went to Zone of Interest.
Yeah, worthy winner.
Yeah, Oppenheimer.
Glad,
I wouldn't have
glad it won.
minded, but Zone of Interest
Oppenheimer,
is
yeah, you are right. Oppenheimer had amazing sound. Great, did have good sound, but I think Zone of Interest. So much of the storytelling is through the sound.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
And the
and
silence when it's there.
yeah, you can't really
It's the only film where you
fault that
kind of
win at all.
no, you hear things in Zone of Interest that you don't see, and that's the whole point.
Yeah,
So I can't say anything but right.
right.
Then there was the performance of I'm Just Ken. Didn't watch it. Don't care.
Oh, it was
And
brilliant.
I'm sure it is.
Love, big fan of Ryan Gosling.
Agent K.
Yeah,
What a guy. Then best score went to Oppenheimer. Ludwig Göransson with his second Oscar.
again, really can't argue with that.
No, I'm
It's a brilliant
pretty
score.
fine with it.
You know, the score itself has had cultural
The
impact.
Oppenheimer score.
Yeah, I've seen it on Twitter lots.
Oh, I haven't, to be
The
fair.
clips. Killers of the Flower Moon had a really good soundtrack, I did think.
Yes.
So those, I don't know how to describe them, but those heavy bass lines. They're not even bass lines. What am I talking about? The soundtrack's excellent, and it's a posthumous nomination, of course, for Robbie Robertson,
Yeah.
who has been Martin Scorsese's, or was, I should say, Martin Scorsese's, composer for a number of years, and he was, had indigenous North American, I should say, because she was, no, what? No, wrong again.
Yeah.
And he had, indigenous relatives, so it's kind of a nice full circle moment that Robbie Robertson's final film with Martin Scorsese was Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
But Oppenheimer's a worthy winner.
Although then again, I think the Poor Things score was good. It really contributed to the weird Frankensteinian vibe, especially at the start.
Yeah, you are right.
But yeah, I think, and yeah, I think in retrospect, I'd say robbed. I'd say Poor Things should have won it. Personally,
Wow,
yeah.
fascinating.
Then what do we have? This was
I
now.
also was quickly sorry to get
No.
back into best original score. I thought rewatching Past Lives, I thought the score it's very simple and despite its simplicity, I should say, it's very beautiful, and I think it conjures up so many of the emotions that I think you're meant to feel. And I think that could have been nominated over maybe. I don't remember the American Fiction score at all.
No, I don't either, to be honest.
Was it kind of? I can't remember.
I've genuinely no idea. And then I imagine the Indiana Jones one was good. I haven't seen it, but it's John Williams. It's not going to be bad. And we had Best Original Song, which went to What Was I Made For, Billie Eilish, which is a good song.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list, and I'm trying to think what the Killers of the Flower Moon one is.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I'm surprised it didn't go to I'm Just Ken, just because that was more culturally impactful.
Yeah, but I mean, you say that, but I think the song. Oh, it's the one at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, give it that. I don't care. Robbed.
See, I'm going to say right, but I was just had this thought. I imagine Billie Eilish is at 22, probably quite close to EGOT status now. She's definitely got a Grammy. She's definitely got an Oscar.
Yeah, she needs. I don't know how she's getting Emmy. She needs to do like a live. Live performance,
or like a TV soundtrack. I imagine there's an Emmy for like best.
Yeah, she'll get one.
Or whatever. I think she'll go EGOT, because then she just needs to get a Tony. They probably give them out.
Yeah, it's about like candy, probably. I don't know.
I imagine
Who
I
watches
have
theatre anyway these days?
Yeah, no. Then there was the in memoriam section, which was, I'm sure, very tasteful. Then it went to Best Actor for Cillian Murphy.
What do you think?
It was nailed on.
Absolutely nailed on, and I have absolutely no qualms.
No, that was
the only person that came close-ish was Paul Giamatti.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper is all right in Maestro, but I think the reason public opinion has just turned on him is because he's just clearly trying so hard to win an Oscar. And you don't win an Oscar by trying hard to win an Oscar. You can't pick your projects because they're Oscar bait, because people aren't stupid. Coleman Domingo was all right in Rustin. He should not really have been nominated. I'm surprised Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't.
Yeah, I think Leonardo DiCaprio to an extent was robbed.
Yeah.
I do think I have seen some criticism of his performance, but I think he is very good in that film. Should have at least been nominated.
Yeah.
Over. I mean, I don't. Definitely Coleman Domingo. Maybe Jeffrey Wright. I mean, Jeffrey Wright is good. It's a good performance, but
I quite liked his performance.
He's not really. It's not particularly. I don't know.
It's not as notable.
No.
Which is why I think.
But then again, I say Jeffrey Wright's performance wasn't notable. My criticism of Coleman Domingo in the 15 minutes I saw before I fell asleep would be that it was like too showy.
Yeah, it was a bit.
You could tell he was, and I guess that's kind of the opposite end of the scale to Jeffrey Wright. Couldn't tell he was acting, but it was like, is he even acting? But that's probably harsh.
Yeah, it's more of a low-key performance in American
Yeah.
fiction. So it's always harder, I guess, to stamp your mark. But as we say, it was never going to go anywhere else, and with a good reason. Very
But yeah,
happy.
Cillian Murphy, easily the best performance in that category.
And Best Director, obviously
Yeah.
went to Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Again, I don't think you can. This is a really tight category.
Brilliant. I mean, every single one of them could have won, really.
Yeah. If any of them have won, as in Justin Trier, Anatomy of a Fall,
I mean,
Scorsese, Because of Flower Moon, Yorgos Lanthimos, Poor Things, Jonathan Glaze's Zone of Interest, Nolan, Oppenheimer, I would have been happy with any of them.
I potentially, again, just biased probably, but I would have potentially put Celine Song over Justine Trier for
Really?
Past Lives. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah.
I really did love Past Lives, and I think the direction is, so. I don't know. It's almost unique. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I get what you mean.
I'm not losing any sleep over it though. Justin Trier was
No.
Anatomy Falls brilliantly directed.
No, I
Christopher
think
Nolan is the right decision.
yeah, he was obviously
Martin
good at it.
Scorsese,
Streets Won't
brilliant,
Forget performance.
brilliant director. But Oppenheimer this time, Christopher Nolan, and it's about time he won Best Director.
Yeah,
To be
no,
honest.
I'm not. I can't be upset about that, even if I think Scorsese was really good. For whatever reason, the Academy just have it out for him. I'm gonna put it out there. They've got an issue with it.
They do have an issue with him. That
It's
is, I think,
weird.
true.
It's actually weird how overlooked he's been his whole career by them for no good reason.
Does that bring us on to?
Yeah, this is.
Oh no, it's
well,
yeah.
this is yeah. So then, Best Actress came up.
It's not quite egregious, but it is robbing. Emma Stone is, and to be honest, Emma Stone is excellent in Poor Things.
Two ends of a spectrum.
She is, really carries that film, and it doesn't work without her fantastically, constantly developing performance.
Yeah.
Having said that, Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon, I came out of that film both the first and second time just completely in awe of her performance. She's only on screen for I think 50 minutes, which doesn't sound like a small amount of time, but considering the film's 3.5 hours, she's easily the most memorable
She's
performance.
the beating heart.
Exactly, and she does so much with the subtleties of her
plight
performance. And her plight, and it's. You just. I remember just watching her face and just trying to get inside her head, headspace, and I think Lily Gladstone was utterly robbed, truly robbed.
I don't know if robbed is the right word though, because
I do see that point of view, but I do think she was robbed. I think her performance, Emma Stone's performance, is very good, but it's like that. It's a showy performance. Sometimes you got to give it to the subtle performance. Cillian Murphy's was a similar style of performance, I guess it is. Whereas he face, the eyes, the facial gestures.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
And I think Lily Gladstone should have won. I shan't say anything more about it.
I agree. On record, robbed. And then it was down to the big one, the Al Pacino, whatever the hell that was. I think he had a bit of a senior moment on stage. It was very peculiar because the whole auditorium kind of goes quiet, thinking. He said Oppenheimer. Is he going to say the 9 other films? And then nothing happens, and then the music starts.
Yeah,
it's not quite as.
It was hilarious. I see Oppenheimer. That was my Al Pacino impression.
That was quite good.
It was alright. I'd also do an impression of Rob Brydon doing an Al Pacino
please.
voice, which is, what do you got? That's from the show The Trip with Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan. Sorry, where were we?
With Partridge and I forget the guy's name. Bryn.
Bryn,
Not relevant.
yes.
Not relevant. Yeah. So despite that little kerfuffle, which always seems Best Picture, there's this weird thing that happens. Although I guess Will Smith slapping Chris Rock wasn't. But we need another moment like that. I'm going to put it out there. We need more violence.
We need more violence at the Oscars.
It set the internet ablaze.
It really did.
Oppenheimer won it. Everyone knew it was going to win it. I would have bet my house on it.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think it was a robbery for anything else. I'm sad that Zone of Interest didn't.
I am too. I would have £7.
Ooh.
I put a bet on an outsider bet on Zone of Interest winning Best Picture. As award season wore on, though, I realised that was not likely. No. Although sometimes Oscars is the one where usually you get the Best Picture shock. Like I think Moonlight wasn't. I think La La Land had won like all the awards, and then Moonlight was the shock. So I did think there was a chance, but I think Oppenheimer was too strong a candidate.
I think everyone sort of was not resigned to it, because that makes it sound like it's a bad thing. It's not. It's an amazing film, and I'm glad it won.
Yeah, it's an incredible film. I've watched it in the cinema 3 times.
Ooh.
In IMAX twice. And for what it is, it's easily the best biopic I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's partly down to the structure, which is, I guess, an argument for the best screenplay winning. Not American Fiction. Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon for screenplay, to adapt screenplay. But it was such a unique film, and it's a 3-hour biopic that never feels like it's 3 hours. Is sometimes like butt clenching, and it's an incredible achievement, and it was a worthy winner. I did prefer on the whole Killers of the Flower Moon, but absolutely no qualms with Oppenheimer winning, because it is, and it got, obviously Barbie did help. There was that interaction between Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling, which was very funny. Did you see that?
Yeah. Wait, did I see it?
They were presenting, and they were saying we can put the whole rivalry behind us, and then Emily Blunt was like, although in awards season it's not really been much of a rivalry, has it? And then Ryan Gosling said that Oppenheimer rode Barbie's coattails all summer, which both things are true. I did get a massive boost from the whole Barbenheimer, but I was part of this, sort of completely unique cinema, event, which all came from the internet. So Oppenheimer, well done. We salute you.
Cannot complain. And then that was it. I think on the whole, it was Oscar season. It was more predictable, not predictable, but sort of like lacking any significant surprises.
No. Emma Stone was
equally. I think it was a really strong.
Yeah,
as we said, the strongest in years. So
some really excellent films this year. I think I gave 5 stars to 2 films, Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon. And I think I gave 4.5 stars to 3 more: Past Lives, Poor Things, and Zone of Interest. Anatomy, I gave 4, and Holdovers. I knew there was another one. And I think that's testament to just how strong a year it was.
Yeah, it was a great year. Now I just wonder, how is 2025 going to shape up?
It's interesting. I think to make an early bold prediction, it might be out of hope, but I do have a feeling that Dune Part 2 might be, do a Return of the King style sweep.
I think it would. I would put a bet now that it gets a Best Picture nomination. I don't know if it would win. It's too early to say. I think it would definitely get Best Picture nomination. It would definitely get Adapted Screenplay. It would definitely get Best Director. Definitely get Production Design nominations. This is. I think it'll probably
Best supporting actor. It'll probably get a better supporting actor for
Austin Butler.
But the Academy loves that shit.
True, they're like little freaks.
Like the Joker got one in Dark Knight. It's that I feel like
think
it's
it will
that
get
kind
at
of.
least 7 nominations
Oh
minimum.
yeah.
But in terms of other things coming
I think it will
out,
do better than people anticipate, but we'll see.
yeah,
We'll
1,000,000%.
see.
I think Challengers, the
Just for
new,
Zendaya. Oh, maybe
yeah,
for Challengers, yeah.
yeah,
I'm
Luca
excited for that. But Zendaya is
Guadagnino.
brilliant in June Part 2, so I'd love to
She
see her
is.
at least get
She is.
nominated for an Oscar for that performance. She's the, she's much like Molly in Killers of the Flower Moon. She's the beating heart of June Part 2.
The emotional core. Simple as. And I'm trying to think what else has been out.
I don't know what the slate is. Madam Web sweep.
Madam Web sweep would go crazy, but it won't happen. No, I can't really think of much else that would.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we don't hear of these things until sort of the end of the year.
Yeah, they do the festival circuits.
Do you have any snubs from this season? I've got 2.
Big snubs.
A lot of people would say Iron Claw.
Yeah, Iron Claw was harshly snubbed. I don't know which categories. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Holt McElhenney in Best Supporting Actor. I don't know.
The 2 that I would say is All of Us Strangers.
Yeah.
And there was one other. Not Saltburn. I think that was kind of.
How to Blow Up a Pipeline? I should have at least been in Best Original Score. Yeah, Priscilla.
I was surprised that didn't get anything.
I think the Best Actress category was so strong this year because I was thinking, I think easily nomination-worthy performances that weren't there were Greta Lee, Past Lives, Mia McKenna Bruce, How to Have Sex, and then Kaylee Spaney is brilliant in Priscilla. I think they all were unlucky to miss out.
All of them should have been in there over Annette Bening, who's good in Naiad, but it isn't. There's nothing on those performances at all.
No.
But,
right.
Yeah. Then the Oscars ended, and then everyone woke up.
Yeah. Back to reality.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you managed to sort of go the distance and didn't watch the Oscars and avoided social media and all, well, now you know. And I'm very.
We can announce the winners to you.
Yeah.
And give our own choices.
Yeah, which are okay. Then, last of all, overall, would you say as a season it was, and as the slate of winners, summatively, it was right or robbed?
I think summatively it was right.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't say that for every year, but I think on the whole, most decisions were pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm inclined to agree. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening.
Is that?
That's the Oscars. That's Oscar.
Maybe maybe we end every podcast with that. Is that Film Blog UK?
Oh, that is cold as ice.
Yeah, we'll start doing that.
Just got chills.
Next time, Denis Villeneuve ranked.
Oh, I will be there.
That'd be interesting. Any excuse to rewatch. I haven't seen in a while, even though I've seen most of them pretty.
Yeah,
Sakari, I haven't seen in a while.
All of his best ones I've seen in the past month.
And Arrival. You need to see Arrival.
I know. I've been looking for it.
I'll drop you the Blu-ray, man.
Let
me know when you're next in town.
I will be home. Yeah. And the next time, listeners, that I return to my place of origin, best believe I'll be catching up on some Villeneuve.
Oof. I also have Sakari on Blu-ray, but I think that is on streaming services at the moment.
Yeah, that is also solid. This is generous 7.
Interesting. We'll discuss all that.
Yeah, it was a conversation for another day. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone, thanks for listening. As always.
That is That Film Blog UK.